Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Suspicious. Amazed. Okay. Moved. Confused. Calm, serene, and content. Okay. Let's see what we got. Oh, bees and flowers. The should be happy, but is not happy. Overthinking, love, lots of love, and the head in the clouds. Okay, that's what we have here. So there's a situation with a love relationship situation on your mind or in this reading. I'm just wondering how it applies. I think there's somebody overthinking if they should approach you. It's such a love reading, and I don't really want to do that, which is interesting, isn't it? That I don't want to do that, but I guess I just have to take the message as it is, because look, there's this bee in the flower, which is a typical situation of approaching something, and with that happiness card. Oh, okay, no, now look, the point is, I don't really want to go down a relationship reading route, because I feel that there are more things out there than potential love interests. And therefore, I'm trying to channel a different message that is a bit more about personal development rather than love. I mean, it could be everything, because sometimes we are not right on our life path until we meet somebody that is really that fulfills the whole picture, that makes it all complete, so you can move forward together. Sometimes it is working out like that, but the main point is to be yourself 100% before that happens, right? So, I mean, obviously, it can feel like a puzzle piece, and that it should be, but I feel that here, I feel that the bee could be you trying to approach some... Hello? Yes, it's George. He's also there. He's also like the bee. He just approached me, and he just did it. So that's lovely, isn't it? George, you're blocking my reading here. Yes. Okay, so the reading is, it could be that you're trying to find your flower. It's almost as if you're a bee, and you don't know which flower you are supposed to approach. Which is a bit sad. With the confusion, it makes sense. With the love, it's like, yeah, you could put your love there, but that's lovely. You love that, but you also love that, and you love a lot of things. And there's the overthinking card. It's as if you wanna do something, but every step you take is leaving you it's making you suspicious. So let's see at the yeah. Especially this moved card is interesting because there are those spots here. And I think that the overthinking then makes you reassess what you are doing. It could go into many areas with that. It could be, could be just, many areas where you are overthinking what you're doing, but mainly what you're doing, or if it's love, even who you love, or, and the overthinking leads you to change your mind, which is totally okay. We can change our minds. That's actually good. But sometimes when you do it too often, it's a bit, it leaves you nowhere because there is no commitment. Because overthinking leaves you with your head in your clouds, and then everything you approach or you try to pull off is as fleeting as a cloud. It just disappears because you don't even commit to what you wanted, to the first thing to choose something in the first place. It could be somebody who has a problem with the love, in the love regard, problem to commit, for example, right? It could be the same. And I feel that there's this confused heart that doesn't know how to stay committed. It's like when so it can apply for some hobbies, business endeavors, it can apply for love interests, anything you are interested in or a person is interested in. It could be for somebody that you know as well. But I feel that there's somebody here that is, whenever there is a new situation, suspicious, and that is trying to keep up the amazement, the initial amazement of the initial spark, right? And then is coming to the conclusion that it's not really sustainable. It just goes away like a cloud, it just disappears. And then it leaves this person confused because it's supposed, I think this person has the belief that it's supposed to be all the time. And with that, it's like, it's supposed to be bees and flowers all the time, but that's just the initial phase, the amazement and the initial spark. And then when it comes to committing to something, it then it enters this realm, calm, serene, content. There is no excitement and amazement and all of those things anymore. It's just what it is, right? And I feel that this is leaving somebody here confused. It could be you. Or if you are trying to understand somebody with the overthinking card, there could be somebody else. Maybe you're trying to understand yourself. Yeah, so this situation is a bit of a trap. And it has been sold to us in the wrong way. It's with everything we do. There's the initial motivation and excitement and amazement. Yeah, the grass is greener on the other side. You go there, and when you stand in the middle of the grass, you see all the bugs, that there's, the grass is even moist, you can't even sit down, and then it's itching your feet maybe or something like that, it's just not as nice as you imagined it to be. And that could be another problem here, where the imagination versus the reality is just not the same. Because the imagination doesn't, put you into a situation where there are bugs in the grass and where the grass is too moist to sit down and where, it's just not as nice and you see like some holes in the ground as well, some earthy spots where where there should be just green. And then you might want to put a plastic grass on top because it appears to be more beautiful, but in fact it's not, because it's not alive, right? So, and I feel that that's a problem here with this confused heart. Yeah. And there's a lot of frustration here too, because when what you are actually imagining versus what you are experiencing when you try to achieve something, or when you go there, or when you meet somebody, when there's this discrepancy there, then what? That doesn't feel right. There's a frustration here that I feel that is just not going away. Maybe it's almost a sadness about the realization that it is like that. It's as if, it's nicer to live in the daydream world instead of experiencing the real thing, because the real thing would show its cracks after a while, and the amazement would go away. The guidance here is clear commitment, because there are some beautiful spots right here that are being missed if the commitment is not being lived, right? So this calm, serene, content situation where what surrounds you becomes so familiar that it feels as a part of yourself, where you know every spot and every little bit of the landscape. That's basically where growth happens. And with the initial amazement phase of that one, right? There's also a problem, because if you are approaching life from that standpoint, that you are chasing the amazement, the initial spark, then you come to the conclusion that it goes up and down. So, for the beautiful amazement and adventure, what comes down afterwards is heartbreak, right? It's the heartbreak and the disappointment of not continuing something, or if it's a heartbreak with a person, it's that, because you still have to process it and the loss of it. And that is something that, it's a choice, of course, that everybody can make. But I feel that there's more there's certainly more stability in the calm, serene commitment than in the actual jumping from flower to flower. When you are trying to find something for yourself, it could be, as I said, person, situation, job, whatever, and you initially are excited, and then shortly discover that you don't really like certain things, and then you are overthinking it, and you move yourself away from it, or you move, which might be you change jobs, or you change situations, you change. Then Miss George, hello. George, why do you show me your butt? You've got a beautiful butt, but I don't want to see it right now. Can you please, when you approach me, just show me your face? Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh, he's purring. Oh. Okay. Suspicious. Yeah. Okay, there he is. So, when you move all the time, it's exciting, but it just too gets to the point. It can get to the point where you are so used to the change of that, the initial spark, Then you go there, it's short, and then you disappear again. Don't bite the cable, George. Don't do that. You. This cat. Sometimes, you're a crazy cat. You're a crazy cat. Yes. So it can reach a point where you get so used to it that this feels like the phrase you always go to. George, he's eating the cable. Glad that it's not plugged in. Ow. There you go. Now scoop, cat scoop. So, what a mess. Yeah, so basically you need to commit to something. If you are seeking a karma energy, right? Because that's just something you need to do. And I feel that there's some with George on the table and doing that, right? And biting in the cable, and it's just, that pissed me off right now, right? And I feel that this can translate to the reading as well. It could be that you are moving as soon as you discover thing about somebody that is pissing you off, right? Where you're like, just don't do that right now. And with, me looking at George's butt, it's also like, this morning, the first thing I saw was the brown star of my cat, right? That was what I woke up to. It's like, but beautiful, and I just see that butthole. I'm like, I just don't want to see that butthole right first thing in the morning. And I also was, he woke me up. So that's another thing, and you were pissed off about that. But this is just one part of the whole picture, right? And I feel that, this is something that is normal, and it doesn't mean that there is no love if you are pissed off about some actions of somebody, in your life, or some situation in your life. It's a normal friction. But the fact is, no situation will ever reach the situation that is in your head that is totally perfect. At least, well, not in this, the point of it is that the place in your head is supposed to be this perfect environment. I mean, some heads are also filled with thunderstorms, right? That's another thing to discuss in a different reading, I think. But if your head is in the clouds and you are imagining a life that is just not 100% ever, this is the sad reality of this. And by accepting it, you become less confused, because then you know that it's just the space in your head. But at least there it is, It's not nowhere, it's in your head. And sometimes you can just take yourself to a beautiful spot by the beach, instead of looking at your cat's butthole first thing in the morning. Just close your eyes and just think about something else for as long as you can, until reality kicks in and you're back in the, gotta get up situation. So, yeah, because you wouldn't want to, now it's quiet. George has left the room because I took away his cable. And, it would be incredibly heartbreaking if you were to miss out on a situation if you are just thinking that things are better. I'm just a bit sad because George has epilepsy and FIV, and thinking about losing him breaks my heart. I hope it's a long way to go, but every time he has a seizure, this is horrible to witness, and you wouldn't want to miss the nuisance. at all. It's a part of love, to be annoyed by who and what you love. Any situation is like that. Yeah. So I want to pull some more. Let's pull a dream card because we got the head in the clouds. Request. Oh yeah. And freedom. Oh yeah. There's a part that is. First of all, I'm being reminded that even clouds cast shadows. And that's just something I'm witnessing now, and it's beautiful. I just look at the mountain here from my window, and I'm like, a cloud is putting a shadow on the mountain, and it's moving. So the point of your headspace is that you are need to use it as a request for the ideal life you are imagining, not as a need to escape. So the ideal life would be where you are now I see the moon. It's the middle of the day. Why do I see the moon? Sorry, I'm like, that's so weird. Why? It's the middle of the day. There's the moon in the sky. What is going on? Okay, is that normal? Okay, well. So with all the questions, this is this looks like a manifestation request. So imagine in your head how your perfect ideal life looks like. That's the beautiful headspace that you are feeding. Those are your clouds, and those clouds will cast shadows in form of. They will mirror again your real life. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, where you had such a nice daydream that you were just pulled into that arena in your head, and nothing really could faze you while you were in that headspace, even if it was annoying. And I feel that if you are approaching life from that way, it will become easier, and it will also you will see it as a request of what you want to achieve, as something that with time and that will unlock over time. And this will give you more freedom. If freedom is a part of it, I feel there's a lot of the wish to be free is also involved in everything here, and the lack of commitment, because you feel confined by it. But there is a part of freedom that also is the point is, if you commit more to what you are doing with a longer term goal in mind, then it will be more freeing than feeding the short-term needs, because you are you are eventually reaching a status that is more stable, and therefore it feeds your freedom more. That makes sense. With relationship dynamics, it's obviously difficult, more difficult than with some business endeavors or whatnot, because you can clearly see that if you stick at it, and if you continue to grow something like, for example, a YouTube channel, right? Or if you continue to write a book instead of abandoning the whole project in the middle of it, or if you are continuing to learn the instrument that got a bit frustrating when you got to the difficult parts, you know, things like that. When it gets a bit more difficult, if you stick with it, then it will later on be a little bit more, it will be more conducive for your freedom. But also you need to have that goal in mind with your head in the clouds. And instead of being confused by why isn't it easier, just dream yourself easier and then go for edit. But with a relationship, if it's a functional one, it's the same thing. We can think that the grass is greener on the other side, but sometimes it's just not. And it could also be staying alone, you know. Why chase things, right, in that regard? And stay alone for as long as it feels better than being in a relationship. That might be another solution as well. You know, we don't always have to be in a relationship. It's very calm and serene when you are not. So, yeah, I really hope that this is helpful. I kind of want to wrap it up. Let's take another animal card, because I feel that the last reading was really surprising what kind of other message there was with the animal card that I didn't pick up. A lion. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's what I call George whenever I see him. It's like, hello. Lion. Well, I say it in German. I say, na du Löwe. Yeah, so let's see. The lion. The lion, where are you, lion? So, there. Okay. Patient, regal, a complete master. Oh. The lion is a master of the fire element and the living mascot of self-transformation. A lion personality dedicates their life to personal and spiritual growth. This dedication inspires some and intimidates others. Therefore, the lion is respected by all, but not intimidated. I can't read. Intimately by a few, but you know what I mean. Intimidated. Yeah, I can't speak. Some mistake the lion as hard to access or aloof, yet those with a keener eye know better. Lions are observant, stealth, and precise in their words and actions. They do not waste energy or resources. This card reminds us that self-mastery is available to all, no matter where our quest begins. When in balance, the epitome of peace and strength. When out of balance, withdrawn, too serious. Bring into balance daily meditation and friendship. Yeah, well. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, it's the commitment to self development, and mastery means that, you know, you have your goal in mind and you don't set it aside for something short term, or, you know, that is a little bit more sparkly. It's also this typical thing where you are, you know, as long as you go in the right direction, if it's slow, if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. You just go in the right direction. You just don't stop doing what you're doing. You know, even if you have some days that are feeling backwards, or that are just feeling like you are, you know, walking on the same spot, it doesn't matter. As long as your face is directed into where you want to go, that's the right direction, and that's where you are supposed to, and that's where you find your freedom. Okay, let's see who this reading is for. Scorpio, okay. Aries. Aries is really often in the readings. I think it's very interesting. And Libra. Yeah. So additional info is in the letter box below, and see you next time. Bye 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 bye.